Shalom. We're going to go into a class here. We're going to call this The Honor in You. All right. The Honor in You. We'll go over some scripts here. All right. Let's first get one of my favorite scripts to start out with here. Romans 15 and 4. Let's read that for.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Romans chapter 15 and verse 4.
Uh-huh.
For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope.
Read it one more time for him.
For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope.
So the only way that we can return to the honor that is in us is if we learn how to be honorable again. We've lost that here, and our heritage from the beginning has always been honorable, but we lost those things over a process of time. But the only way to get back to that is if we learn those things all over again. We must cast our pride aside, be reborn again, come as babes to the Most High God so he can tell us what that honor is and show us through the scriptures. Get that in Isaiah chapter 34. And I want you to read verse 16. Go ahead.
Isaiah chapter 34 and verse 16. Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read.
We got to read. We have to make time to read in this fast-paced, moving world. We got to make time to seek the Lord and read. But where we got to seek him? Read it again.
Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read.
That honor that we are going to relearn once again, it's going to come from no other place but the book of the Lord. There isn't any charm classes for women. There isn't any self-help books for man. Andrew Tate videos can't give man their honor back. There's nothing but the book of the Lord that we must read that's going to give us the honor that only God can bestow upon you. Give me that in Joshua chapter 1 and verse 8. So it's not only in the process of learning that you seek in the book of the Lord and reading from his word. It's another step that goes in, because you can be reading and not doing this. Read that, Joshua 1 and 8.
Joshua chapter 1 and verse 8.
Yep.
This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night.
That's what you got to do when you're trying to learn something. First, you got to seek the information. Everybody knows that you went to school. You want to learn something, you had to seek the information. They used to give you homework. You had to do what? You had to study. You had to search through books. Well, God is telling us, in order to learn that honor that he bestowed upon us, we're going to have to meditate upon the words once we seek out of the book of the Lord. We can't just gloss over it. We got to meditate on it. You got to visualize what you are reading. Put a picture in your mind as you are reading, so those things, those pictures that are in your mind, can then become your actions. That's why God said to meditate. Read it one more time.
This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night.
You gotta meditate day and night in it. In anything you're trying to learn, you gotta meditate on it. You gotta study on it day and night. It's not a one-time thing, because your natural behavior that you are accustomed to kicks in. The mind goes on autopilot, and then you revert to the ways of what you know, what makes you comfortable, because you're used to walking in this way, used to talking in this manner, used to doing this thing in that manner. So you got to meditate, visualize the scriptures that are coming out of the book of the Lord, so it can become you. That's what God wants out of us. Give me that definition of meditate. so we can pull it all out of what God is requiring of us in meditating upon the book of the Lord that he told us to seek from. Pull it up when you get it. Go ahead. Pull it up. Meditate. Let's see what it says.
Meditate. To engage in contemplation or reflection.
To engage in contemplation or reflection. So the contemplation would be, how am I going to apply this in my life? The reflection is you visualizing yourself in it. To engage in contemplation or reflection. Let's read the second definition.
To engage in mental exercise.
There you go. That's what I said about you have to see yourself in the scriptures. Bring them to life in your mind. We all have imagination. So use that imagination when you are trying to reform yourself to be honorable in the eyes of God. Engage in mental exercise. Finish reading that.
Such as concentration on one's breathing or repetition of a mantra.
Well, our mantra is the scriptures. That's the repetition of our mantra. It's the scriptures. Read on.
For the purpose of reaching a heightened level of spiritual awareness.
A heightened level. That heightened level that we are trying to reach in spiritual awareness is honoring God. That's what we're trying to do. Let's go to the scripts. Go back to Deuteronomy. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 4. And let's read verse 5 and 6 about this honor. Go ahead.
Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verse 5.
Yep.
Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my God commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it. Keep therefore and do them. For this is your wisdom
This is your wisdom. Read on.
And your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation.
Surely this great nation. Read.
Is a wise and understanding people. For what nation is there so great, with God so nigh unto them, as the Lord our God is in all things that we call upon him for.
That greatness translates into what? Honor. There's no way you can't be great without honor behind it. The people in the world that are deemed great or the greatest in some whatever it is, they get honored wherever they go. People are starstruck and in awe when they see them. They honor them. So that greatness translates into an honorable nation. Wise. Read verse 8.
And what nation is there so great that hath statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law, which I set before you this day?
So where would that honor come from that everyone would see and call us great? It's only going to come from the law. That's why I said just a little while ago, you can't get it from Andrew Tate. You can't get it from your relationship classes or whatever you see on YouTube. Them shorts of women going around giving advice on marriage. You can't get it from there. That's not where the greatness of God that gives us honor comes from. It will only come from the book of the law that we are supposed to reflect on, envision ourselves in it, see ourselves as David, see ourselves as Judah, see ourselves as Jeremiah, see yourself as Sarah. That only comes from the law. That's why it cannot come from anywhere else but in the book of the Lord. Read that in Sirach chapter 17. Let's get Sirach chapter 17. And let's read verse 11.
Sirach chapter 17 and verse 11. Beside this, he gave them knowledge and the law of life for inheritance.
Read that again.
Beside this, he gave them knowledge and the law of life for inheritance.
He gave us the law for our life to continue us in being seen as a great nation amongst the people that see us. That's what the law would do. He gave it to us for a heritage so we would always be honorable and great when people see us. For what reason? Give me that in Isaiah. Isaiah chapter 43. And I want you to read, I believe it's verse 1. So the law, which is great, brings honor, was given to us for a heritage. Our life is supposed to be reflected in these laws. When I say life, it means your actions, the way you move, the way you talk, what you eat, the way you dress. 43 and verse 1.
Isaiah chapter 43 and verse 1.
Why would he give us that law for an heritage, that great and honorable law? Go ahead.
But now thus saith the Lord that created thee, O Jacob, and he that formed thee, O Israel. Fear not, for I have redeemed thee. I have called thee by thy name. Thou art mine.
Thou art mine. I have called thee by thy name. God gave us a name that is to be honorable. Israel, prince of power, princesses of the earth. That is why God would give us a great law that is forever, never to be done away with, so that the honor would always remain in us. That's what God wanted from the jump. Never for us to be upon earth and be looked at as anything but honorable. Anything but gods upon the earth. Nothing but princesses when people see you. That's the only way we are to be seen. That's why we have to get back to the honor that is in us. Give me the definition of honor. Let's see that. Let's see what that says. Because a lot of times we don't look up definition, but we'll read stuff. But let's see what honor means. So this is Miriam. Okay, let's read that.
Definition of honor: a good name or public esteem.
What read that next part?
Reputation.
Man, that's heavy right there. Honor is to have a good name or public esteem, meaning what? When people see you, they're in awe. They're like, oh, they pointing people. Oh man, look at that. Look at him right there. Look at that. Oh man, that's a prophet right there. Oh, that's a princess. That's public esteem, reputation. That's what's supposed to be seen in us as Israelites, because we are princes and princesses of God. Not to be seen as anything else upon the earth, because we named after God. A good name or public esteem, basically your reputation. Read B.
A showing of usually merited respect. Recognition.
Recognition as what? This great nation. Wise people. That's what honor is. Let's read 2.
Privilege.
Privilege. 3.
A person of superior standing.
Ooh, that's a good one right there. Now read the rest of that.
Now used especially as a title for a holder of high office.
Man, what higher office can you get than being named being called an Israelite, being the sons and daughters of God? There's no other higher honor or high office that we could have. Read 4.
One whose worth brings respect or fame.
Man, that's heavy right there, man. That's what honor is. Click on synonyms real quick. Let's go to that. Shoot. So it's at the top. You got to click synonyms at the top. At the top. There you go. Read that. Let's see what the noun is.
Honesty, integrity, probity, rectitude, righteousness.
Oh, what is it?
Righteousness.
Oh, my goodness. I didn't even know that was in there. That's why that law, which is righteous, brings us honor. And what else will it do? Read that last word right there.
Uprightness.
It makes you upright. Honor makes you upright. You cannot be anything less than a commandment-keeping Israelite and be upright. You cannot be anything else outside of that. It doesn't work. The world can say that you're good and you're honorable and you're this and you're that, you're favorite. But according to God, no, not to him. not unless you are upright and righteous. Give me that in let's see, Deuteronomy chapter 26, and I want to read let's start at 16. Let's read 16 through 19.
Deuteronomy chapter 26 and verse 16. This day the Lord thy God hath commanded thee to do these statutes and judgments.
Now, this is what I want to implant in our mind when we getting back to this honor. Understand, this is our life. This is our heritage. This is from the day that God made us his people, which was already ordained. And before he said, let there be light, it's always been about us keeping the commandments of God. That's the heritage of the Israelites, of us black folk here in America that is downtrodden and looked at as nothing, as the Hispanics that they call wetbacks trying to get in to America because they come from SH countries, or the island folk that are just British subjects, or for our scattered brothers that are still in the land of Africa. From the moment that God ordained us to be his people, it's always been about the righteous commandments. That's our life. That's how we are to walk every day. Read that again, verse 16.
This day the Lord thy God hath commanded thee to do these statutes and judgments. Thou shalt therefore keep and do them with all thine heart and with all thy soul.
God will tell us that with all thine heart, meaning your mind and your soul, with every fiber in your body, because he understood what it would be like without us doing the commandments of God. We would be a debauchery, how you say it? A debauchery people, something like that. A debauch people. I think that's how you say it. A debauched people, downtrodden, degraded people. That's why he said, keep these with all your heart, meaning your mind and your soul. This got to be how you walk. This should be second nature to you. Read on, verse 17.
Thou hast avouched the Lord this day to be thy God, and to walk in his ways, and to keep his statutes, and his commandments, and his judgments, and to hearken unto his voice.
Read on.
And the Lord hath avouched thee this day to be his peculiar people.
His peculiar, meaning special. Go ahead.
As he hath promised thee, and that thou shouldest keep all his commandments, and to make thee high above all nations which he hath made, in praise and in name and in honor.
In what?
In honor.
That's what the commandments do. God said, what did he say back up in verse 30? And do them with all thine heart and with all thy soul, because these commandments of the Lord is going to make you high above all nations that he made, in praise, in name, reputation, and in honor. Go back to the definition of honor. Go back to the definition of honor. God said, keep it with all your heart, with all your soul. This is the honor in you. Read it again.
Good name or public esteem.
That's what God said. This would give you what? Praise and a name. Good name or public esteem, reputation above all nations. Read that again. Let's go back to the scripts, back to verse 19.
And to make thee high above all nations, which he hath made, in praise and in name and in honor.
And in reputation. And in public esteem. And in honor. Read on.
And that thou mayest be an holy people unto the Lord thy God, as he hath spoken.
As he what?
As he hath spoken.
Don't you understand? That's what he spoke. Us being anything else other than an honorable people, praised wherever we go in name, in our reputation. That's the only thought God has ever had for us. That's all he has ever wanted for us, because we are his children named after him. That's a special name, princes and princesses of God. No, I'm not. I'm not gonna be no. I can't. I'm not acting like African American. I'm not acting black. I'm not gonna be Jamaican. I'm not gonna Haitian and Puerto Rican and El Salvadorian and Ecuadorian. No, man. Native American. No. Slave names, man. My name is Prince of God, and you better address me as that, cause my daddy said it. That's what it named me. My daddy named me Israel. You better not call me nothing else like they say about Cassius Clay. If you ever seen that, if you don't know about it, some of y'all millennials, he or Generation Z's, not millennials, Generation Z's. He fought Muhammad Ali fought a boxer back in the day, and he was a super coon. Muhammad Ali changed his name, and he refused to call him by his changed name, like we be having. Don't your mama, your daddy be doing that? They call you by the slave name they gave you. They refuse to honor your name. Man, pull it up real quick. See if y'all can find that clip. Let's go to YouTube, and I think it's called Your Mama Named You Cassius. Just type it in, and let's see what pops up on that. Let's see what pops up. Let's go to it. Pull up YouTube. We'll look at it together here. Yeah, your mama called you Cassius. Well, your mama named you Cassius. Your mama named you Cassius. It'll pop up. It just said your mother. What the hell? You old. Oh gosh, y'all don't even know how to spell mama. That's funny right there. Don't play that. It's an actor though. That's the movie. Go down. Scroll down. That's the movie, right there. No, I'm talking about Muhammad Ali with Howard Cosell.
You continue to be unafraid of this, man.
Yeah, I'd like to say something right here. You know, Cassius Clay, yes.
Why do you want to say Cassius Clay when Howard Cosell and everybody is calling you Muhammad Ali? Now, why you got to be the one of all people whose color to keep saying Cassius Clay?
Look at that.
Howard Cosell is not the one who's going to fight you. I am.
You making it really hard on yourself now.
Well,
why don't you keep the thing in the sport angle? Why don't you call me my name, man?
Well, what's your name? You told me your name was Cassius Clay a few years ago.
I never told you my name was Cassius Clay. My name is Muhammad Ali, and you will announce it right there in the center of that ring after the fight if you don't do it now.
For the benefit of this broadcast, him. All right?
Look at
that. Acting just like an old Uncle Tom. Another flawed powder. I'm going to punish you.
You ain't got no
back off of me.
Don't call me no Uncle Tom.
That's what you are, Uncle
Yeah, that's
Tom.
what he was.
You call me Uncle Tom. I ain't do nothing.
You heard me. Just back off of me.
And so, ladies and gentlemen,
Tom?
as the two contestants prepare for battle
Look at
right now,
Muhammad Ali gripping his lip.
another interview has been recorded.
All right, you can cut it. Now, for those that may not know, Muhammad Ali didn't knock that dude out. He went 15 rounds with that dude and refused to knock him out. And while he was in the middle of the ring, you can hear Muhammad Ali yelling, "What's my name? What's my name?" He beat him damn near to death for 15 rounds for disrespecting his honorable, in his mind, his honorable name. Our parents, friends, you got people like that, you know. Read that. Go back to Deuteronomy 26, verse 19. Deuteronomy 26, verse 19.
Deuteronomy chapter 26 and verse 19. And to make thee high above all nations which he hath made, in praise and in name and in honor.
In name and in honor. Don't let nobody call you anything outside of being an Israelite, because there's honor in that. God gave us that name. You better call me what my daddy called me. We'll lay hands on you when we get spiritual power. All right. Deuteronomy 7:6 real quick. That dude said, your mama named you Cassius. I'm going to call you Cassius. They might have gave us a daggone strike for the daggone Coming to America. If you see Coming to America, you saw that same clip in the barbershop. Read that, Deuteronomy 7:6.
Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
Read that one more again for the brother or the sister that has low self-esteem and doubt in their mind. What did God pronounce over our souls upon the earth as a people? Read it again.
For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
All people. God gave that honor to us to be special to him. That's the thing. We are special to God. We're too busy trying to please all the other people that are less than anything to God. They are literally nothing in the eyes of God, not even dust on a balance. We are trying to live up to their standards instead of living up to God's standards when we are special to him. That's an honorable trait to have, to put on a resume. I'm honorable to God, like no other nation on the face of the earth. We gotta digest that. We was called into this, always being honorable in the eyes of God, so honorable that he decided not to get another people once he chose us from way back when. That's how much honor it is in us as a people that no other people can live up to it in the eyes of God, being special and chosen and above all people to him. He stuck with us this long because nobody else can live up to it in the eyes of God but us. And give me that in Isaiah 46. Isaiah chapter 46, verse 3 and 4. Go ahead.
Isaiah chapter 46 and verse 3.
Yeah.
Hearken unto me, O house of Jacob, and all the remnant of the house of Israel, which are born by me from the belly.
So that honor and that being chosen and special came before we was even a people on the face of the earth. Before you was pushed out into the earth, it was on you in the belly. That's how God chose. That's how honorable it is and righteous and upstanding it is to be an Israelite and keeping the commandments, that in the belly the honor was placed on us. It says, which are born by me from the belly, read,
which are carried from the womb, and even to your old age.
Into what?
Your old age. I am he. And even to hoar hairs will I carry you.
As gray hairs will I carry you. Read on.
I have made and I will bear. Even I will carry and will deliver you.
I will deliver you. It says, even to your old age. You know that means forever. That means God ain't getting a new people to be honorable in his eyes. That's us. So that means that's why we have to bring it out of us and show not only the world, but show God that we are returning back to what he intended for us from the beginning. Give me that in Jeremiah chapter 1. So it says, born by him in the belly, right? Jeremiah 1, and I want you to read verse 4 and 5.
Jeremiah chapter 1 and verse 4. Then the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee.
Stop right there. So that means what? Even before we even was formed and began to be created from our father's sperm in our mother's belly, God already knew us as an honorable soul that was coming into the earth, an honorable people that was about to take over the earth. Everybody's going to follow their style, love their music, love their skin, love their hair, love their man, love their women, love their food. They was going to love everything about this people before we was even in the belly being formed. God said, I already knew you was going to be honorable. Read that again, verse 5.
Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. And before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee.
I sanctified thee. That means separated us, right? And for the man, what it say?
And I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations.
That's for us, man. God ordained us to be prophets. Honorable. That's honor. That is honor. Give me that in Sirach 1, verse 14. Now look what else goes inside of an honorable people that is like it's implanted in you. Read that.
Sirach chapter 1 and verse 14.
Yep.
To fear the Lord is the beginning of wisdom.
Fearing the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. And what else?
And it was created with the faithful in the womb.
In the word?
In the womb.
So in order to be honorable, what did God do? He put wisdom inside of us in the womb. That's what God did. Read that again for the people so they can understand what comes with honor. Go ahead.
To fear the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and it was created with the faithful in the womb.
It's created with the faithful in the womb. That's why we that have repented and called, you show some honor. The way you dress, the way you eat, the way you look, the honor that was created in you from the womb or in the belly of your mother, from the seed of your father before we came into earth, is beginning to show to the world. And they're afraid of that honor because we was never meant to be honorable in their eyes. We honorable in God's eyes. Give me that in Wisdom of Solomon chapter 7. Let's see about that wisdom that's created with the honorable. Wisdom of Solomon 7. Let's read 22 on down.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7 and verse 22.
Yep.
For wisdom, which is the worker of all things, taught me.
It did what?
Taught me.
Wisdom teaches you how to be honorable. That's why you got to meditate so that wisdom can grow. Meditate on the scriptures so the wisdom can grow within you and show you how you're supposed to be honorable, because wisdom will teach you. That's why God put it in you, so it could teach you how to come out of the darkness of this world, of this dishonorable world, and come back to being honorable in his eyes and pleasing him. Read that again, verse 22.
For wisdom, which is the worker of all things, taught me. For in her is an understanding spirit, holy, one only, manifold, subtle, lively, clear, undefiled, plain, not subject to hurt, loving the thing that is good, quick, which cannot be letted,
meaning cannot be stopped,
ready to do good, kind to man, steadfast, sure, free from care, having all power, overseeing all things, and going through all understanding, pure and most subtle spirits.
And what?
And most subtle spirits.
And most subtle spirits. Now, just picturing to yourself the things that we just read about what wisdom teaches. What can only come from wisdom? Honor. When you see somebody moving in these type of attributes, there's nothing but honor that can be bestowed upon that person. You're not going to look at him like a regular man or a woman. You're not going to see them as black. You ain't going to see them as Hispanic. No, they become Israelites. You see honor in them. Like that person, right? They different. They something different about him. Something's different about her. I can't put my finger on it, but something's different about them. Read them attributes once again that wisdom teaches. 22 and 23 together.
For wisdom, which is the worker of all things, taught me. For in her is an understanding spirit.
Understanding spirit.
Holy. One only. Manifold. Subtle. Lively. Clear. Undefiled. Plain. Not subject to hurt. Loving the thing that is good. Quick. Which cannot be letted. Ready to do good. Kind to man.
Kind to man.
Steadfast. Sure. Free from care. Having all power. Overseeing all things. and going through all understanding, pure and most subtle spirits.
You can't see when you see somebody with those attributes all in one, that ain't nothing but honor that can be bestowed upon that person. You treat them different. You talk to them different. You move around them different. You watch what you say when you're around them type people, because there's nothing but honor that is coming from them that is to be bestowed upon them. It makes you be different. If you're an dishonorable person, you stop cussing around them. You put on dresses around them. Or you leave, you get out the way, you move. Read on in that verse 24.
For wisdom is more moving than any motion. She passeth and goeth through all things by reason of her pureness. For she is the breath of the power of God, and a pure influence flowing from the glory of the Almighty. Therefore can no defiled thing fall into her.
That's why I said you can't be honorable without the commandments of God that bring forth wisdom. There ain't no honor in this world. We've never had it outside of the keeping of the commandments of God. No matter all the accomplishments that we have as a people, as a nation of people, of blacks and Hispanics, it wasn't honorable. It was not honorable at all. That's why it's not recognized by the world. It ain't honor. Read on.
For she is the brightness of the everlasting light, the unspotted mirror of the power of God, and the image of his goodness. And being but one, she can do all things, and remaining in herself, she maketh all things new.
She make all things new. Wisdom. If you're a dishonorable person, when wisdom enters into you, or when it grows in you, when it blossoms, when God unlocks that wisdom inside of you that he put inside of you, then it does what? What that one part says again? It maketh all things new. Now look at this. Read the next part.
And in all ages entering into holy souls.
Read that part again.
And in all ages entering into holy souls.
What did we just read? That God said with the faithful, he put wisdom in them in the belly. It says that in all ages entering into holy souls. That goes back to what we just read. And what else does it do? Read on.
She maketh them friends of God and prophets.
And what?
And prophets.
She makes them friends with God. Unless you are honor, if you're walking in honor, you can't be the friend of God because he's honorable. He's the most honorable, the most high God. That's why it's one of his titles that was given to him, the most high God, because there's nothing but honor amongst him. In his soul, when the angels come before him, it's nothing but honor. They have no choice but to honor him. She makes them friends of God and prophets. Read verse 28.
For God loveth none but him that dwelleth with wisdom.
He loves none that dwelleth with wisdom and honor. Jump down to chapter 8. Let's read one on down.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 8 and verse 1. Wisdom reacheth from one end to another mightily, and sweetly doth she order all things.
Now that's understand. When you got wisdom, it comes you order. You got order in your life when you got wisdom. Read on.
I loved her and sought her out from my youth. I desired to make her my spouse, and I was a lover of her beauty.
So Solomon said, I'm a marry wisdom. I'm a take care of wisdom. I'm a sleep with wisdom. I'm a wake up with wisdom. I'm a walk with wisdom. I'm a hold wisdom hand in the park. Said I wanted to take her unto me, make her my spouse. Read on.
In that she is conversant with God. She magnifieth her nobility.
Her what?
Her nobility.
What does nobility translate to? Honor. Wisdom is honor. You can't have honor unless wisdom is in you. And it's in all of us as a people. We just have to grow it by our righteousness, by our repentance, by our obedience. Read that again.
In that she's conversant with God. She magnifieth her nobility. Yea, the Lord of all things himself loved her.
Read on.
For she is privy to the mysteries of the knowledge of God, and a lover of his works. If riches be a possession to be desired in this life, what is richer than wisdom that worketh all things?
Read on.
And if prudence work, who of all that are is a more cunning workman than she?
Read.
And if a man love righteousness, her labors are virtues.
If a man love righteousness. Now, did we read earlier about, what was that in righteousness? Was that synonyms? Was that honor? It was in honor. If a man love honor. Now, look what is going to be found in a man that loves honor, that loves wisdom. Read.
Her labors are virtues, for she teacheth temperance.
Hold on, she does what?
She teacheth temperance.
There you go. Wisdom teaching again. And it's going to teach you temperance, how to control yourself, how not to go too high, how not to be too low, how to be a rational thinker in all attributes of your life. In tribulation, in being on high, being low, wisdom is going to teach you temperance. Read on.
And prudence.
How to think things through. Go ahead.
Justice. And fortitude.
You're going to be an honest person. You're going to be able to tell what's right from wrong. What do they call judges? What do they call judges when they go into a courtroom and they tell you to stand? What do they say? All rise for honorable such and such and such. Because they are expecting them to know what? Justice and fortitude. How much more the sons and daughters of God that got the great law shall know justice and fortitude and be honorable in the sight of the people of the world. Read that again. Justice and fortitude. Go ahead.
Justice and fortitude, which are such things as men can have nothing more profitable in their life. If a man desire much experience.
Much experience. Read.
She knoweth things of old and conjectureth.
She know things of old. She knows history. Wisdom knows some history. Newsflash for some of you, what you call y'all? Generation Z's. Now you see why they walking around like damn zombies out here, dumb as hell. Don't know nothing. They ain't got no wisdom. Cause wisdom would have did what? What it say?
If a man desire much experience, she knoweth things of old.
Now you understand why these kids are so out of control today. They ain't got a lick of wisdom. Because wisdom would have taught them things of old. Wisdom would cause you to seek out things of old as well. Because you want to know where you came from. You want to know the history of your ancestors. You want to know why things are the way they are today. Wisdom would make you seek out those things and teach you. Read on.
And conjectureth aright what is to come. She knoweth the subtleties of speech and can expound dark sentences.
Read.
She foreseeth signs and wonders and the events of seasons and times. Therefore, I purpose to take her to me to live with me.
This wasn't no one night stand. Solomon said, no. The things that come from wisdom is too good for this to be a one night stand. You got to live with me. You got to be, and not only live with me and shack up. We read back in the earlier verses, verse 2, it said, I desired to make her my spouse. Solomon was trying to lock down wisdom. Could nobody have it? This wasn't no one night stand. Read that again.
Therefore, I purpose to take her to me to live with me, knowing that she would be a counselor of good things and a comfort in cares and grief. For her sake, I shall have estimation among the multitude.
Among the multitude, a great reputation. Go ahead.
And honor.
And what?
And honor.
Oh, wisdom's gonna bring what?
And honor.
Wisdom's gonna bring you honor. Why? Because it's gonna teach you things of old. It's going to have subtleties of speeches. You'll understand dark sentences. It'll teach you prudence. It'll teach you justice and fortitude. Wisdom's going to bring you honor. Read that again. Verse 10.
For her sake, I shall have estimation among the multitude and honor with the elders, though I be young.
Though what?
Though I be young.
Though I be young. So if you are young and you want to be honorable, well, you got to make wisdom your spouse. That's how the honor in you is going to come out, when you make wisdom your spouse. Stop treating wisdom like a one-night thing. Like, oh, yeah, we just dating. No. Bring wisdom. What does it say? I propose that wisdom live with me, and I'm going to make her my spouse. That's how you're going to be able to bring the honor out in you, when you start seeing wisdom in that type of way and not look at them for lust. Give me that in Tobit. I'm just not thinking about it. Look how these go together. How wisdom, I proposed her to be for my spouse and to live with me. I'm going to marry her, and then she's going to live with me. Now give me that in Tobit, how we have to treat wisdom. Tobit 8, verse 5. Look at this.
Tobit chapter 8 and verse 5. Then began Tobias to say, Blessed art thou, O God of our fathers, and blessed is thy holy and glorious name forever. Mm-hmm. Let the heavens bless thee in all thy creatures. Thou madest Adam and gavest him Eve his wife for an helper and stay. Of them came mankind. Thou hast said, It is not good that man should be alone. Let us make unto him an aid like unto himself.
Let us make him a woman. Read.
And now, O Lord, I take not this my sister for lust.
I take not wisdom for what?
For lust.
No, this ain't a one-night thing with wisdom, Lord. I'm not taking my sister for lust, but what?
But uprightly.
Uprightly. I'm going to make wisdom my spouse. I'm going to bring her under my roof. We're going to live together. And what else?
Therefore, mercifully ordain that we become aged together.
Come aged together. Well, didn't we read earlier, too, that God said that he put wisdom in the faithful in every generation? That's aged together. But that's if you want that honor. If you want to be seen as honorable amongst the nations. If you want to have pride and self-esteem in yourself, well, then wisdom got to live with you so it can bring the honor out. Give me that in Wisdom of Solomon chapter 4, and I want you to read verse 8 and 9. Check this out, because that said, although I be young, I'll be honorable amongst the elders. Look at this. Wisdom of Solomon 4 and verse 8 and 9.
Wisdom of Solomon chapter 4 and verse 8. For honorable age is not that which standeth in length of time.
So just because you got gray hairs upon you, or you're older, just say older, because some people dyeing their hair out here. I say just because you're older doesn't mean that you are honorable in your age. To be looked at in a high respected estate. Read that again.
For honorable age is not that which standeth in length of time, nor that is measured by number of years.
Just because you're older doesn't mean that you get the honor. Go ahead.
But wisdom is the gray hair unto men, and an unspotted life is old age.
What does that mean, an unspotted life? Honor will come with that unspotted life when you're up in years. Give me that in Proverbs chapter 16. And I want you to read verse 31. What does it mean? An unspotted life in old age is honorable. Proverbs 16, I'll say 31.
Proverbs chapter 16 and verse 31. The hoary head is a crown of glory.
The hoary head, that's a gray hair. It's a crown of glory. You've done something to live this long, right? Read. If
it be found in the way of righteousness.
If it be found in the way of keeping the commandments of God. That's when that gray hair upon your head is an honor in the eyes of God, because you can be an old fool upon the earth. And the scriptures talk about that. Give me that in Job. So, Job chapter 32. So don't think just because you may be up in age, you got honor and you deserve honor. True, you deserve respect, But honor ain't given out to everybody, only those that have wisdom. Job 32, verse 1.
Job
Meditate
chapter
on
30.
that one right there, boy. Go ahead.
Job chapter 32 and verse 1. So these three men ceased to answer Job because he was righteous in his own eyes.
He was righteous in his own eyes. If you ever read the book of Job, Job is going through it. The Lord is proving him that he won't turn on him. Even if Satan puts him in the worst conditions, he'll stay true and honorable in his old age, even if you take everything from him. But at this moment, he's down on himself, right? Keep reading.
Then was kindled the wrath of Elihu, the son of Barachel the Buzite, of the kindred of Ram. Against Job was his wrath kindled, because he justified himself rather than God. Also against his three friends was his wrath kindled, because they had found no answer and yet had condemned Job.
Go ahead.
Now Elihu had waited till Job had spoken, because they were elder than he.
Why did he wait? Because even when you have the gray hairs upon your head, you deserve respect. Yes, indeed. The scriptures say what? Honor thy father and thy mother. And that goes for the aged men amongst us. They deserve respect. That gray hair upon their head, don't get it twisted. We ain't saying to go around and that you younger folk, oh man, you don't keep the grams. You ain't nothing but old food. Nah, you don't do that. We read right here that these are three men that are in the wrong, and Elihu is still waiting and showing them respect because they are elder than he is. Read that again, verse 4.
Now Elihu had waited till Job had spoken, because they were elder than he. When Elihu saw that there was no answer in the mouth of these three men, then was his wrath kindled.
He's like, man, y'all should know. Y'all should have wisdom to give him an answer. Read verse 6.
And Elihu the son of Barachel the Buzite answered and said, I am young and ye are very old.
I am young and you are very old. You have gray hair upon your head. Read on.
Wherefore I was afraid and durst not show you mine opinion.
Now, we all remember when we was younger, I might have been on the tail end of the generation of this. These Generation Z's don't know this because they grandma's 32. They grandma's 31. That's their grandma. I had a grandma that had gray hair upon her head, and we remember this for the older folk that children, it was a rule you had to be seen and not heard. You didn't just come in the house when grown folks was talking around the table and insert yourself into the conversation. You get backhanded real quick. Boy, don't you see us grown folk talking over here? I remember, look at Bishop be giving story time. Let me give a little story time. I remember back in my younger years that I couldn't even eat at the grown folk table. I had to, I was eating at the kid table till I damn near was in college. I didn't get to eat at the grown folk table for them wicked ass hell days. But I didn't get to eat at the grown folk table till I came back from college. Most folk don't eat 30. These little kids now, they talk to their mom like they're their best friends. Grandma 31, 32. But let's go back to the scripts. That's enough story time from Captain Zakar. Job 32, and let's read verse 6.
Verse 6. And Elihu, the son of Barachel, the Buzite, answered and said, I am young and ye are very old. Wherefore I was afraid and durst not show you mine opinion.
He respected him. Like, y'all know more than me. I'm being quiet because I'm learning from y'all. Verse 7.
I said days should speak.
Older man, aged man should speak before younger man. Read.
And multitude of years should teach wisdom.
They should do what?
Should teach wisdom.
A man with gray hair should be teaching wisdom. Read.
But there is a spirit in man.
A spirit in man, you just rebellious. Go ahead.
And the inspiration of the Almighty giveth them understanding. Great men are not always wise.
Aged men are not always wise. Read on.
Neither do the aged understand judgment.
Why? Because the commandments was not their life. They were not raised in the commandments, nor did they keep the commandments and practice those so that wisdom could grow in them to make them honorable in their old age, in their hoary hair, their gray hair. No, the commandments is what gives you that wisdom to be honorable in your old age. True, you deserve respect, but honor is not bestowed upon everybody. Why is that? I'm going to show you something. It's just hit me here. Go to the book of Sirach.
Sirach chapter 24 and verse 1. Wisdom shall praise herself and shall glory in the midst of her people. In the congregation of the Most High shall she open her mouth and triumph before his power.
Read.
I came out of the mouth of the Most High and covered the earth as a cloud. I dwelt in high places, and my throne is in a cloudy pillar. I alone compassed the circuit of heaven and walked in the bottom of the deep, in the waves of the sea, and in all the earth, and in every people and nation I got a possession.
So every nation has a little piece of wisdom. That's why they're able to make inventions and build nations and countries and things of that nature. Every nation got a little piece of wisdom. We're not saying that it ain't wisdom everywhere. All right. All nations got a little bit of it. Let's read.
With all these I sought rest, and in whose inheritance shall I abide? So the creator of all things gave me a commandment, and he that made me caused my tabernacle to rest.
I want you to stay right here. Read.
And said, let thy dwelling be in Jacob, and thine inheritance in Israel.
I want all the wisdom of God to stay right here. Read.
He created me from the beginning before the world, and I shall never fail. In the holy tabernacle I serve before him, and so was I established in Zion.
I was established in Zion. Read.
Likewise, in the beloved city he gave me rest, and in Jerusalem was my power. And I took root in an honorable people.
Read that again.
And I took root in an honorable people.
I took root. Wisdom took root in an honorable people. You see what God says about us? We are an honorable people. That's why it's honor in us that needs to be brought out. But it only be brought out through the commandments of God. Wisdom said he took root in a what type of people? Verse 12.
An honorable people.
Read it from the top again.
And I took root in an honorable people, even in the portion of the Lord's inheritance.
I took root. Wisdom took root. It sat down. It made its abode amongst an honorable people. That's us. That's why the nations want to take it from us so bad and make us think less of ourselves, because they know that wisdom took root in us. Why you think they stole all the inventions of the slaves in oppression like that, and you still got black folk and Hispanic folk making crazy inventions during the worst time in human history? Making inventions. They understood that this is a honorable people. This must be the people of God. After all we've done to them, and we still can't keep them down. Why? That's because wisdom took root in an honorable people. Give me that in Jeremiah chapter 2 and verse 31. Go ahead, read it when you get it. Jeremiah 2, verse 31.
Jeremiah chapter 2 and verse 31. O generation, see ye the word of the Lord. Have I been a wilderness unto Israel, a land of darkness? Wherefore say my people, we are lords. We will come no more unto thee.
But what do we do? What did we do as a people? When the wisdom was rooted down in us and all the people saw it through the oppression that was placed upon us, and even in our glory, they saw the wisdom of God, the honor rooted down in us. We said that we don't need God no more. We're going to take this wisdom and this honor, and we're going to go and do our own thing. Read that again, that bottom part. Wherefore?
We will come no more unto thee. Wherefore say my people, we are lords. We will come no more unto thee.
Wherefore say my people. How do we do that? It's when we turn away from God and do the things of the world. We say, no, we no more. We say we are lords. We ain't coming back to God. No, we're going to do our own thing. Ezekiel chapter 16. Ezekiel chapter 16. And I want you to read verse 13 on down.
Ezekiel chapter 16 and verse 13. Thus wast thou decked with gold and silver, and thy raiment was of fine linen, and silk embroidered work. Thou didst eat fine flour, and honey, and oil. And thou wast exceeding beautiful, and thou didst prosper into a kingdom.
Thou was exceeding beautiful. We was honorable, an honorable kingdom that we dwelt in. Beauty, like none that had never been seen before. The temple of God was all gold, y'all. Gold floors, gold walls, gold ceiling, gold pillars, gold bowls, gold spoons, gold forks. It was gold. Solomon was Trinidad James before he was on the earth. All gold, everything. You can see your face in it because you know it was clean. You know they kept it clean. The way them Pharisees and the Levites was, yeah, take off your shoes before you walk into. That's not a scripture, y'all. I'm just saying. Don't go off saying, oh, we had to take off. No, I'm not saying that. But the temple was beautiful. It was so beautiful that when we came back from captivity and saw it, those that saw it before they left and when they saw it when they returned, they wept. They cried of how it looked when they returned because it had not been kept up. It was so beautiful. When they left, they came back, they cried. Now, read that verse 14.
And thy renown went forth among the heathen for thy beauty.
Thy fame, thy honor. Read on.
For it was perfect through my comeliness, which I put upon thee, saith the Lord God.
Now read verse 15, because this is when we said to ourselves, after we got all this honor and this glory amongst the nations, we said to ourselves, we got it from here, God. We will return no more unto thee. Verse 15.
But thou didst trust in thine own beauty and place the harlot because of thy renown.
Because of our what?
Thy renown.
There you go. Because of our honor, we did what? We trusted in our own beauty and forsook God. Read on.
And pourest out thy fornications on everyone that passed by. His it was.
Now check this out. What happened and when we leave God and the honor that is bestowed upon us to turn us into a beautiful kingdom and have renown amongst all people of the earth? Hosea chapter 13. And I want you to read verse 9.
Hosea chapter 13 and verse 9. O Israel, thou hast destroyed thyself.
Read that again.
O Israel, thou hast destroyed thyself.
O Israel, thou hast destroyed thyself. That's what happens when you say to yourself, we'll take it from here, God. We got it. We doing good with the honor you bestowed upon us. We got it from here. We not going to return no more unto thee, meaning keep your commandments. God said it ultimately did what to us? Read it again.
O Israel, thou hast destroyed thyself.
And we have destroyed ourselves in trusting in our own beauty. Trusting in the ways of the world, basically the society that we lived in, and departing from God. We destroyed ourselves both physically and spiritually and mentally as a people. Read on in that.
But in me is thine help.
God said what?
In me is thine help.
In God is his help. And that's what we got to do coming back to God. He'll give us back the honor that we lost. Give me that in Jeremiah 4 and 1. I got more, but I'm gonna wrap it up. Jeremiah 4 and 1.
Jeremiah chapter 4 and verse 1. If thou wilt return, O Israel, saith the Lord, return unto me.
Because of what? We did what? We strayed away from God and destroyed ourselves. So God in the last days is merciful. He's merciful to us and telling us what? Read verse 4 or verse 1 again.
If thou wilt return, O Israel, saith the Lord, Return unto me.
Return unto the Most High God. Return back to what? Return back to what made us honorable and great as a people in the sight of the nations. Read.
And if thou wilt put away thine abominations out of my sight.
Those abominations are what? The way you eat, if it's not of God. The way you dress, if it's not of God. The way you speak, if it's not of God. When you worship him, if it's not of God. Those are the abominations that God wants us to put away from us so that he can bestow the honor back upon us that was ordained before the womb. That we can have that reputation of being the princes and the princesses of God upon the earth, and all nations will once again bow down to us like they did when our renown went forth among the heathen. All right. So that's been the honor in you. I pray you got something up out of it. Study on the class, go back over it if you got time. I hope you took good notes. But meditate upon these things so that that honor in you can be seen amongst the nations and make you walk uprightly in the eyes of God. With that, I say shalom.
Shalom, Israel. This is Bishop Nathaniel. I want you to know that you can view all our Sabbath classes live on IUIC TV. That's right, I said on IUIC TV. Download the app today. Shalom. What is nation? Nation is men leading by example. Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is you. And finally, my brother, be strong in the Lord. His word, his word, his word, his word.